Hi guys, this is Tim from OCTV and this is Trouffman as well. Welcome to the OC show, Trouffman. This is episode 11 from season 2 and welcome here in Taipei on a special occasion because actually today our dear friend Peter is not here, so we can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want, and we're in the new office, so that's why the sound might sound a little bit different. We still have kept the backdrop from the competition that was going on at the HWBOT World Tour, and It's a pleasure to be here in Taipei with you.
Alright, so before we start, let me remind you that we will have a live Q&A next weekend, so this weekend on Sunday the 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be 3 a.m. in Europe and 9 a.m. here in Taipei. So you will be here as well, and we'll see who can join us as a guest.
We'll see.
So let's start first with Computex 2015, which is the reason why you are here. And I think we can say that Computex is still quite the mecca of computer hardware, PC enthusiasts, overclockers.
Sure, makes sense because that's the last event of the year. There's no big event until CES. That's going to be in January 2016. And so all the manufacturers wanted to show something out of all that. We saw a lot of things that were not officially released and so on, like the Z170 motherboard, a lot of gaming motherboard, I would say.
But no working sample yet for that one.
No working sample because the CPU is not officially launched. It's going to be launched in Q3. At the Q3, we don't really know exactly when, but Q3. And like most of the vendors were displaying some of their main board, like, oh, this is the new design, black and red. This is the new design, black and red and white. That's pretty much what was like the only new things beside the 980 Ti from NVIDIA.
So 980 Ti, those ones we could see them running, even though most of them were actually mainly the non-reference designs or custom designs that were just on the shelves or just here for pictures, but you could not really see them working. Or the only ones we saw working was, for example, the Strix one from Asus. We saw the EVGA one very briefly. And
now, you have to remind that the GTX 980 Ti is like the evolution between the 980 and the Titan. The 980 Ti, the Titan X, the 980 Ti has a reference design, so every manufacturers get the same one. So pretty much it's the same box, the same card for everyone. And then they are allowed to modify the PCB, modify everything to make their own version for it. These special custom-made versions were not working except for the Strix that we had at the World Tour, and that was actually not even the retail one. That was like the first few samples that exist in the market. Actually, not even on the market, like out of the HQ, I would say. And we saw a lot of special custom PCB from a lot of different vendors. We know that VGA is coming with one, MSI would probably come up with one, and the Strix also from Asus. So this year in Computex there was still overclocking, but a little bit less than last year. I think that's mostly explained by the not new architecture that was launched. No new CPU, so you cannot really push the existing motherboard that you have. So for example, there was no benching on MSI, no benching on Zotac. The only benching we had was Gigabyte, for example, on their booth, which is kind of a tradition. As usual, that's a tradition for 3 years There's also the JSK, which were probably the biggest overclocking booth at Computex. They were having 2 events. They had the OC World Cup and the World Record stage. So the world record, I hear there was quite a few records. I haven't counted them all, but there's quite a lot of them. And mainly achieved by the MSI guys, actually. And then there was the OC World Cup, where this was quite interesting because we had, it was kind of like, it was everyone benching together for the live qualifiers, even though they were different time slots. But every time you could really appreciate the battle between 2 overclockers instead of everyone at once. So it was kind of easier to follow the competition. And in the end, who won? Lam at Capital, so that's actually Lau Kin Lam. So Lau Kin Lam from Hong Kong, HKPC Lam. So he won a lot of money. 10,000 USD. So and that's actually a good amount of money. And then the second one was Vivi. So these 2 guys compete in the live final. It all went on with some decent amount of cash. Yes, and Dan Cup as well. And Dan Cup was third. So when they did the qualification for the first part of the week, they just fight with each other to find who will be the 2 in the end. And Dan Cup happened to be third, so Dan Cup from Germany ended up third in that event. There you go. Alright, so that's about it for Computex. Then the rest was mainly booths of small, interesting gadgets and things like that, which is usually what Computex is here for anyway. Yeah, you always have like some factories from China that display new stuff like USB cables. There's one thing to note, that even if there was less overclocking event during the Computex, there was more overclockers than the years before.
Yes, I think this year there was never that many overclockers, and that's even what we saw at the World Tour, which I think. Which was the most successful World Tour stop in terms of participating extreme overclockers at the event. So if we compare it to the other events we had also the amateur tournaments and all that things. And basically this time it was only focused on extreme overclocking mainly, and everyone pretty much.
That was the largest stop so far.
Yeah.
The largest stop so far in the World Tour. That was the third one. That's officially the last one for 2015. Maybe there will be some more this year. I don't know. For sure, there's going to be some more next year.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll see what happens.
For this stop, 3 activities: one bench party where people could bench what they want. There was a World Series competition, which went pretty well. It was a very interesting target score stage.
Yep.
And we had also the ROGOC Showdown area, which was an area where overclockers could compete for targeted benchmark scores. So basically beating the existing score for world records or global first place, or even some.
Of course, using the hardware from the partners. Some of the one you can still see in the background, like Asus, Sonic,
that's
and
it. Yeah. And basically going for cash reward for each score achieved. So there were 3 world records achieved on that one.
Yep, by 8-pack and Der Bauer.
Yeah.
The special team, as we like to call them.
Well, it took them about 3 days actually to achieve those.
Yeah,
so
I would say it took them a week and 3 days.
Yeah, this is to show how hard it is, right, to get those scores. And which was the thing that was really great, I think, about this event is that so the R&D guys from Asus were here as well. We had Elmore and TL who passed by, and basically even the weeks before they prepared the card for a very long time. And in the end, it would maybe not have been possible in 3 days to get those scores without the new power card, the AMP Power Card 2. Mm-hmm. Which is a new power card to supply more power to the Titan X cards, more power than any other power cards right now. And of course helping them to prepare the mods or remods the card, or
just checking the card because they thought that some card were not working anymore, but then they fixed them. So
So that was quite a lot of work. And then the World Series went pretty well as well. I think we have pretty much the top 2 guys are from Indonesia. Congratulations to Lucky Noob who finished first. And then Bibojis, which is the young Padawan from Lucky Noob, but not some our Padawan anymore.
So it's like the student catching up on the master almost. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Just one little bit more.
And then we had a surprise, which was Bruno, who is actually the week before Computex just passed number 1 from Romania in the Overclockers League, and here getting his 3rd place in an international tournament.
First live event, first gathering outside of Romania, first ranking, I would say. They gave him 3rd in the Balcon with some cash too, because there was some cash prize for the top 3.
Oh yeah, there was about 2,000 US for Lucky Noob, a little bit less for B-Boy Jess, about 600, 560 for Bruno and Dr. Weiss. No cash, but bench tables and SSD, so it's always cool. So that competition went pretty well, and I think there was also quite a nice thing at this event, which was the amount of visitors we had. So there was a lot of people from the industry that were still in Taipei after Computex, which is usually the case because they go around HQs to, discuss further.
Sometimes you do have some meetings.
Yes. Yeah. So they came to the event to check it out, to see what we are doing, and I think a lot of people were quite impressed, one, by the event, the organization, what the event is actually looking like. Like, people probably think still of overclocking as something really underground, or which you can still make very nice for an overclocking event and organized, and it's etc. And also, we had those big screens, so it was easy to follow. You could see the stream.
You could see the scores and the stream are 17 each.
So that was really, really good.
Yep. I really enjoyed doing that event. I really enjoyed spending 3 days of my time on the live stream. Thank you guys that watched it.
3 days to be remembered. So meanwhile, nothing stopped on those esports, and the competitions keep going on, I would say.
There's actually a lot of competitions that finished right before Computex.
Yeah, they all finished pretty much May 30, so that was the day everyone arrived here, so that's why we didn't really have the time too much to talk about it. The first competition that finished was the Gigabyte X99 Champion Challenge, And for this one, Demak from Greece won the challenge and
won the final ranking.
So there's some cash for this competition, and there's of course some X99 motherboard. So congratulations. The old school is best school series. So the first round of the series was won by classicplatforms.com, which is a community
USA.
out of the USA, and those guys seem to be really focused on legacy and older hardware, and I think they probably enjoyed a lot this competition. So that was really
for
good.
the old school is best school. They have to use all the hardware anyway.
Yes, well, that's the whole point, right? So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that more and more as it goes, especially the guys that probably have stopped overclocking before the new generations of hardware, but still have the gear at home and are like, hey, I could go back into overclocking this way, and get a bit of competition points or esports points, as we call them. The Rookie Rumble. So this one finished. There was the number 18. It was Snowy who won.
You have the AMD one.
Yeah,
that was
and
Nioul from France.
So congratulations to the French guys. We are French, so we have to say something.
It's from Team Cocotlin, from what I hear. Huh?
Yeah, correct. And also there was a Novice Nimble that finished. And there's a new Novice Nimble that started, as well as a new Rocky Rumble that started this week.
But we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the live Q&A next weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, because we could pretty much talk about competitions all the time. Alright, so guys, that's about it for this episode. We will keep it short and we will see you again on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, to talk further about Computex, all the crispy things we saw at the show. We will have some little bit of more footage to show you about what exactly happened.
Maybe some stuff that no one saw before. Who knows?
Who knows? And some also more behind the scene kind of footage from the HWBOT World Tour. We did a lot of interviews with the overclockers. Not sure we can show you all of it, but we can probably show you some quick cuts. And and we will announce as well who is the winner of the giveaway of the GTX 960, which we still haven't announced, but that is coming in the next OC Show Live Q&A.
Show Live Q&A.
Until then, guys, keep pushing it.
Keep pushing it.